Hello, hi everyone, good evening, how's everyone doing? Sorry for the late start, thanks for your patience. How's everyone doing? I've had a really miserable day. Andres, thank you for asking. My dog Tigger went to Cambridge Veterinary Hospital today. She's going to be there all week, so I'm really miserable. There's no snoring in the background tonight, but I wish she was here, so... She's going to have her surgery on Wednesday. Hopefully I'll get her home Thursday night or Friday. One thing is they're really good, because it's the Cambridge University Veterinary School. They're really thorough there. And, she's had a gazillion x-rays and tests and people looking at her. And they are really nice to them dogs. So thank you for asking. Okay, so... Yakov says, if 50k Bitcoin, then ETH.1 Bitcoin, maybe. Jasmine says, you're amazed that alts are so low considering the price of Bitcoin. Okay, I think that, Jasmine, that was a lot to do with the news this weekend. So we had the news this weekend that Binance are going to become an American exchange, which means that they have to, and they won't have American customers anymore at their Malta brokerage. Okay, now that means regulation is coming. People must have seen this for a while. Regulation is coming for American clients. And they're going to have to, everyone's going to have to do know your customer. The government's going to know who everybody is and how their Bitcoin is. And the problem is, the other thing that people really worry about is the ICO regulation. The US government want to regulate ICOs. They will not let Binance have on their exchange in the US altcoins that they consider that are securities. So nobody knows yet which those altcoins are going to be, which ones are going to pass muster, with the US government. So that makes a big deal. It's going to be a bit like Coinbase. Which ones do the Coinbase approve of, which ones are Coinbase are going to allow to trade. So it's going to be a bit like that. So I think that that's why alts got really hit this weekend on Friday. But everything started to seem to recover on Sunday night to me. Seemed to be making a little bit of a base. Okay, so now here I've got a really messy chart here of Bitcoin. I'm going to zoom out. And we're going to start with the weekly chart because the weekly chart is what's really important here. Let's take away some of these projections. Everything lines up at the same place. So I'll tell you why it's important. Because this is this big 382 fib resistance previous highs. The reason that I had all of those fib projections on is because when I look at each of these swings of correction, for example, this correction swing has a fib projection that lines up here. And I'm just going to unwind and just put my fibs back on. And there we go, because when I go down to let's take a look at it on the 4 hour, and I project from each of these swings. So I'm looking at the 1.618 of this swing here. You can see that lines up around 9,500. When I look at the 1.61272 of this swing, that lines up around 9,500. So we've got major, although we are really bullish, we're trading above 9,000, we're looking like we're reaching higher, we really do look strong, we've got this major resistance. Now, Bitcoin loves to retest levels. It loves to make a big dramatic. So I'm expecting a reversal at this level, no doubt about it. 9,500, 9,600, depending on which exchange you're at. But Bitcoin loves to retest levels and run the stops. For example, look what we did here. We make a high and then we make a marginal new high, which runs everybody out of town, and down we go. Here we made a high and we make a marginal new high, run the stops, and then down we go. And so I would expect the same price action here at Bitcoin. And I think if we overshoot that big round number 10,000 will be where, or getting close to 10,000 will be where we see a whole bunch of profit taking. So for people who've been patiently waiting or haven't, want to buy for a bigger swing, I think that this correction, and I think, it takes time to build a top. So we won't reverse here straight away, But I think that by month end, we will be somewhere between, 9,500 and 10,000, looking for a reversal. And then I think that it's seasonal. We talked about this before. It's seasonal in July and August for Bitcoin to trade sideways and have a bit of a pullback. And that's what I'm expecting here. And then we start a new rally in September, hopefully, all being good. Where would we come back to? All these people thinking we'll come back to 5,000 or something. I really can't see it. I think that this is so squeezy, strongly bullish. I think we'd be lucky to see 7,600 and this previous swing low, to be honest. We'll just do a sideways, but let's see. So that's where we are with Bitcoin. That's what I'm looking at. So short term, we do have some more upside, but it's limited. And I'm expecting a reaction in this area. Okay, now, when we were expecting a reaction at 7,100 and with the 236 fib in Bitcoin, what did it do? It went straight through it. So we know that this is a big support and resistance potential zone. So if Bitcoin goes straight through it to 10,000, then happy days. If it then finds support from this and we trade sideways here, even better. Then, we are still looking higher. Where's our target next? We're going to look for the big 50% of the entire drop at 11,500. So, just because we know it's a big level doesn't mean that, we're in the hands of the exchanges. We may just blow through this level and it will be a big deal if we do. Okay, so that's where we are with Bitcoin. What price is that in Bitcoin Euro? That price in Bitcoin Euro. Okay, we're going to look for the from the December 2017 highs. We're going to look for the big 382 fib. That's the level we're looking at. Now, here in Bitcoin Euro, thanks to exchange differences, we've gone through this level. So the fib level doesn't really apply here. So this is one of those occasions where I think that you kind of have to keep an eye on what Bitcoin dollar is doing, and then if Bitcoin dollar reverses, your Bitcoin Euro will reverse as well. If we could say, where's the 6854 from here? Let's look at that. If I've drawn it right. There we go. Because that's what we're looking at. A little bit higher, 8486. Add the 1272 of this swing here. A little bit higher, 86. So maybe between 85 and 86 is where we top out in Bitcoin Euro. Okay, so I'm going to carry on. We'll carry on now, and we'll look at the next one, which is Ethereum. Now, I got quite excited about Ethereum because we've been back and forward, at this 236 fib level. The first time we hit it, it was resistance. We pulled back, then we got above it, and we've been washing back and forward through this zone. When we got back above it again, I bought some. I'm looking for us to get higher from here, but when I put the highs in on this daily, we really haven't broken out yet. And I have a feeling that if Bitcoin hits those resistance levels and reverses before Ethereum breaks out, that we could see Ethereum head lower from here. So I'm holding long at the moment, and my stop's around 260. I'm looking for this to break out. I really hope we do. If we do, in Ethereum US dollar 371 is where we're looking for our next upside target. I think that we're doing, this is wave 1 to, I think this is a wave 4, and that's where our wave 5 should take us next, 371. But it is really important that we break out of this sideways range and we close above sort of 278 in this. Okay, so that's hi Kate Donachie. I can see we'll stick Wabby on the end. Okay, do I trade GBTC? No, I don't trade GBTC, but no reason why you shouldn't. Okay, so let's take a look at Litecoin. big picture, like, these coins are all in different cycles, and Litecoin is definitely ahead of the game. This isn't a really strong uptrend though, no doubt about it. Every little pullback, and now we're getting into the range of a really steep rising wedge in Litecoin. My target on the upside in Litecoin US dollar Tether is 150 to 155. I think that this consolidation that we're doing is temporary, and we've still got more upside to come. This is a daily view of this. If you look back at each one of these corrections, you'll see each time we did 3 waves of correction. Let's look at it on a 4-hour chart here. You see what I mean about, one big one, another one, A, B, C, and we did it here, 3 waves. We've done 1 wave of correction. I'm expecting a second wave. The second leg lower will be probably equal to first wave, maybe 61.8, or we may, so I think we'll come a little bit lower to at least 128. We might come back to 121 and test these previous highs, or we might, in this position, do a bit of a triangle or a wedge, sideways wedge consolidation in Litecoin. So we could definitely do one of those 5 waves ones. And then I'm looking for us to continue higher to 150. And when I expect Litecoin to hit 150 about the same time that Bitcoin hits the 10,000 resistance, and we see a bit of a summer pullback there as well. But Litecoin has got the halvening coming in August. So it may be that Litecoin just keeps rallying, and continues to outperform Bitcoin. It's definitely outperformed Bitcoin this year, but 155 will be a very big deal level. If we put the 1236 fib in, we had a bit of a shallow pullback here, and then it became support, so I'm expecting the same thing here. So the halvening is bullish. It just is, and it's going to be quite a good leading indicator for what Bitcoin will do next year when we have the Bitcoin halving. So definitely still buying dips in Litecoin. No reason to think that it's stopped going up. It's just, markets have 3 directions. They go up, down, or they go sideways. We are going sideways in an uptrend, and I'm expecting it to continue higher. Sam Lamb's perm. David, do people still have perms? Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Okay. Next one is Ripple. Ripple now. We've got all these rumours in Ripple, haven't we? Facebook rumours. Nothing hard and fast yet. When we look at Ripple against Tether, against US Tether, we've got a really nice kind of bullish pennant going on here. Hopefully, we break this to the upside and carry on. A, B, C, D, E, and then up we go again. So I'm not expecting, if this is just an ABC pullback here, then we'll break the highs, we'll break out to the upside of this consolidation first time, and we'll just carry on higher from here. If it's not, and if it's one of those, triangles, which is annoying, then we'll do A like this. So watch for the breakout. Third touches of trend lines are very often false breakouts. So what that means is you'll see a little false breakout, you'll get all excited thinking you've broken out, and then it'll come back in again and then carry on higher. So watch out for that in Ripple Tether and in Ripple Bitcoin. Hello, yes, I can go back and look at Litecoin Bitcoin. We'll do everything twice tonight. Okay, so Ripple Bitcoin. So Ripple Bitcoin, haven't got quite the same bullish pattern going on, have we? We've got sideways consolidation. In fact, so it's starting to look like we're dropping out of the bottom of it. But, we've had a pretty strong bounce. We're just... Yeah, let's go back to the daily. This is still a pullback in Ripple Bitcoin, and we're still underperforming. If we make a big ABC correction here, I think that against Bitcoin we've got further to fall, and 4353 Ripple Bitcoin is where I think we find some support. And then when we bottom from there, that's when I expect to see us bounce out of that triangle or that sideways correction in Ripple Tether. So 4353, that's where we would have an equal measured move correction. And in fact, if I draw this from the lows like this, it's actually a bullish Gartley pattern. For anybody who trades harmonic patterns, you know, when your first leg is the 618 and your second leg is to the 786 and they're equal, that's a classic bullish continuation pattern. So, and that says 4353 to 4400, that's the support that we're looking at. And that's a huge bullish pattern by entry for Ripple Bitcoin, 4400. Okay, so we'll go back and look at Litecoin Bitcoin that I missed. Okay, sorry about the banging. Here we go. Now, everything against Bitcoin doesn't look quite so bullish, let's be honest. And Litecoin Bitcoin on our daily, I'm going to zoom out. I've got Binance chart here. Bigger picture, if you look at a chart like Coinbase, you will see that we've got a big kind of resistance zone up here. Big picture, I'm looking for on the upside, 0.0211 up here. And I'm looking for us to find some support soon and turn higher. The problem is, that we may need to do a full another leg lower. And if we do that, we go from A, B, C like this, then we haven't, you would expect the second swing lower to be 61.8 of the first swing. And that says that we've still got to continue down here to around 12,800. So 12,800. Duarte says TRX is going to be 10 cents at the end of June. Okay. Ripple's going to go where people believe it's going to go. And a lot of people believe in Ripple. So, you know, we can... So I think there's the potential for Litecoin Bitcoin to drop further. So when Bitcoin does its final push to 10,000, perhaps that's when it does it. But yeah, 12,850 around there will be support for Litecoin Bitcoin. Still in a pullback. Now, obviously, if it turns higher before then happy days. But at the moment, yeah, I think that's probably where we're going to end up. I'm looking to buy there, and then the upside target is around 21,100 next swing higher. Okay, Litecoin, Bitcoin. So what until Litecoin, Bitcoin bottoms, you're probably better off in Bitcoin. Unfortunately, that's just how it tends to work. Okay, we've looked at Ripple. We're going to look at ADA. ADA's been a bit of a disappointment, unfortunately. Now, I think the first sign again in ADA Bitcoin that this was going to be disappointing was this kind of ABC bounce pattern off the lows. So when that happened, you know, in ADA Bitcoin, let's go to a regular chart here. When that happened and we didn't get the 5 waves up that we were looking for, it was always kind of, you were always at risk in ADA that you were going to go all the way back to the lows and if not new lows. And I really do think that that's what ADA's doing. Here at the moment though, we've got some wedge consolidation. Very often, remember, third touches are false breakouts. So if we can't make a new low here, then potentially we should see us one more swing higher within the wedge. Twice ADA Bitcoin has got rejected at the 200 moving average. So until we break above this 200 moving average again, I think that ADA's, you know, on the back foot and kind of destined to retest these lows, unfortunately. So not much that we can do about that. Let's take it on the weekly because, yeah, you know, all of these, everything is pointing to lower, unfortunately. So I'm going to put ADA to one side for now and say, you know, we have to wait. We need to see something, you know, really inspiring for a bottom, a double bottom, something like that, a retest of the lows and a really strong bounce, you know. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Coco. Okay. So I'm going to say no to ADA. Let's leave it for now. That doesn't mean that, you're going to lose a ton of money in ADA Tether, because this is against Bitcoin, remember. In ADA Tether, you're holding your own. Look at this. We're off the lows. We've made a pretty decent bounce, and we are in a wedge consolidation, but we're looking opposite. So, high in a strong enough wind, even the turkeys fly, and ADA's doing all right here, even though ADA Bitcoin is not. So, are you going to lose money holding ADA? No, but you're going to miss an opportunity with Bitcoin. That's all. That's all. And, when this breaks to the upside, I would have an alarm on this top line, because when this does, maybe that turns ADA Bitcoin around as well. But for now, just better off in Bitcoin than ADA at the moment. That's all. Okay, so Aetherium Classic. This is such a funky one. Sometimes I think, do people get the names confused? Sometimes you'll see ADA rally, Ethereum rally, and then suddenly this one will perk up too. The problem is, as long as we're doing ABC corrections like this, and we're failing, and these are daily moving averages, and failing at the daily moving averages, this is in a bear flag, and it's still going lower. A, B, C. Failed at the 200 moving average again. So this is another one where not a good time to buy. Let's wait and see. Let's wait for a retest of the lows, a double bottom. This market to make a bit of a base, because this, unfortunately, this failure here says likely not. Now, what we might see, and what you very often see, is we'll do one swing higher like this. So this is our first swing higher, and then we'll have a pullback, and then we'll do a second swing higher, and a small ABC can become a bigger one. So we could do this, and then, but it's still, until we get above this 200 moving average and hold above it, or we make some kind of more bullish bottoming pattern, not much going on for me in Ethereum Classic Bitcoin. You're better off in Bitcoin. Now, if you are holding some, we'll take a quick look at it against Tether, because again, look at this chart. Daily chart is still going up. So are you losing money? No, you're not losing money. And in fact, we're climbing in terms of a Fibonacci staircase. We're climbing up. This was the 236 fib. When we got above it, it became support. Now we're going to look to retest these highs at 9.9, and then our next fib level is 12. So we could carry on going up against the US dollar. My only issue with Ethereum Classic is it's underperforming Bitcoin, so you may as well be in Bitcoin. That's all. So Ethereum Classic, if you've got some, it's not bad, but I wouldn't buy some yet. Okay, Dash Coin. Let's do the same. Dash Coin dollar. Like, this is another one. This has got a really good look of a bottom, This is a really good look of a bottom. If you want to know when Dash Coin against the dollar is really going to take off, then above 172, which is this 236 fib level and this kind of neckline of this bottoming pattern, that's where we're headed back to, I think. 172, and above 172 our target is 245. So we're flat underneath it at the moment. You could put your alarm like this, and then you get a bit of an early warning like that. But really, above this horizontal level is what you want to see, and then our target becomes 300. We should go twice this distance, so from the lows. You can say head and shoulders, cup and handle. The target's calculated the same way. We go twice the distance, so that gets us up to that 50 fib level at 300. Okay, so Dash Coin against the dollar looks great, doesn't it? But let's look at Dash Coin. This is another one. But here we are again, because Bitcoin is really smashing everything. And here, Dash Coin, we're down, retesting the lows again. Let's tidy up these, because I've still got my fibs from previous lows. So I think we head back to 16,605. And again, this one made an ABC correction. So Bitcoin is still beating the pants off. Like, look here, whenever you see a bounce and you get two equal measured moves, look. So this was A equal, and then this one equal. Whenever you see that, that says that the rally was corrective. It's not a new upswing. And here in Dash Bitcoin, it failed again at the 200 moving average. And look how tough this 200 moving average is for Dash Bitcoin. So this says that we are going to go back to these lows, and until we retest them and maybe do something here, we are still headed lower against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is still going to outperform Dashcoin. But does that mean it won't go up in dollar terms? No, it doesn't. And, you know, for those people in Venezuela that are using Dashcoin as a store of value, they're very grateful, I'm sure. So, you know, okay. Okay then. So, nice and simple. Whenever you see an ABC 2 equal swings, just be careful that it's not going to come all the way back on you, which is what we've seen in so many of these altcoins against Bitcoin. Okay, now we're going to look at Bitcoin Cash. Now let's look at some more bullish charts, because Bitcoin Cash against Bitcoin did really well, didn't it? Okay, but where did we fail? Let's zoom all the way out. I put my fib, I'm going to hide this volume. The volume was massive in this. Okay. So I drew my fib retrace from this high up here to this low. This 236 fib is where we stalled. So technically, in terms of fibs, we're still in a downtrend. Again, let's measure. I'm going to use this tool down here. Trend-based fib extension, we can measure this low to this high. I'm going to project it from here, equal. So we made an ABC correction to the 236 fib. Again, this is corrective, still in a downtrend. So although, you know, it has potential, it does have potential, because remember, this could just be a big A, we could make a B and then do another big C. For now, though, when we failed here at that ABC, you know, we were headed south. We might now hold, if we did something spectacular here, like I'd like to see another leg higher, but, you know, for now it's not looking that good against Bitcoin. So again, another one at the moment where we're still better off in Bitcoin. Now, does that mean that the rally in BCH hasn't been spectacular? No, it's been great, but the party's kind of over now, for now anyway. We could still very easily rally from here in US dollar terms. We're not done. We're still in an uptrend in this one, but you will make more money in Bitcoin. That's all. So we're getting quite close here in the US dollar. Getting quite close to where we can see for count 5 waves. As soon as you can count 5 waves, you're at risk of a bigger 3-wave correction. So that's where we are in Bitcoin Cash. So I like Bitcoin Cash, but I think that we might see 3 waves of correction here. So that would mean, just like Litecoin, this and then another one before we carry on higher again. And we are still, we're back to underperforming Bitcoin. We had a great rally, but now we're back going the other way. Now, Bitcoin Cash SV. I've tried to buy this a couple of times. This is against Tether. I'll start with it against Bitcoin, because whenever a coin starts outperforming Bitcoin, it should get your attention. And so Bitcoin Cash SV, Bitcoin did. Is this just a short squeeze? I don't know, but it actually, you know, we could call it all the names under the sun, but we did get pretty nice 5 waves up here, and, you know, and a spectacular rally against Bitcoin. So whether you like it or hate it, I'm not going to get married to this. I'm not going to hold BSV forever. I just traded it and it made me money. I'm waiting now for 3 waves correction and another leg higher. I think this is just the first leg. So where are we going to come back to? Probably this 200 moving average down here, if we see a summer correction. But this is quite squeezy. I think that this is quite well shorted. Wait, Jonathan says, do I think BSV is in a bullish rectangle and its price would hit 6 points? It could be. I think that we've done a big ABC correction here. Like, you remember we talked about 2 equal swings whenever you see them going one way? Look, when we did this here, so we didn't quite reach it, but it's clearly just like ABC, you know. I don't know. I'm going to put my fibs on from this high to low, okay, because normally where you stop gives you a clue about where you're going to go to. In this case, it doesn't really. So I'm going to rely on these moving out. It may be that we're not finished. I tried to buy some against the US dollar because I just really like the wedge pattern breakout, but we're not doing it. We're just stuck now in a sideways range, and we need to, I think short term, if you draw on an hourly chart, we can say this is our range here that we're stuck in. We'll draw it like this, and a breakout of this range should see it really move. The problem is I don't really want to sit in it and let it come back, so I would put my alert on the drop line. So against Bitcoin, we're not doing very much, except that when you're going flat against Bitcoin and Bitcoin prices are going up badly, then you'll see that then your BSV chart is going up too. Please check the Binance chart. Okay, I will do that, and I'll do it for next week if that's okay. I just don't want to spend too long on this one, if you don't mind. So BSV, BTC sideways, but if Bitcoin is going up, then the value of your BSV is going up as well. That's what we've been seeing in this one. So we're now, when we go back and we look at Tether, this looks great, doesn't it? I actually nibbled a bit when we broke out here. We're still kind of grinding higher slowly. But if we start reversing that trend, I'm just going to get out again. I'm really mainly long because here's my daily chart. I'm mainly long because I'm not sure that this big squeeze is over yet. So that's all I'm looking for in this one. I'm still live, yes. I'll try and cover mana at the end. Okay. Okay, I will check your Binance chart and see what you mean about prices. So I'm aware that this may just be a bigger wedge consolidation, and so it is quite important that we break out in terms of horizontal prices. And I'm looking at the highest close. I think if we see a higher close here, that would be a good sign. But if we don't and we fell at these highs, then I will get out and wait for the bigger summer correction to be over in Bitcoin Cash SV. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is Lumen Xlm. Now this is the one that's doing quite nicely. This is another one. If you look at this against Tether, this looks like a great bottoming pattern, doesn't it? And if we look at this 236 fib here, 0.13744, that's going to be our, we've got above all of these daily moving averages. We're consolidating really nicely here in a kind of bullish flag or bullish pennant. And I'm watching for this to break for the upside above 0.13744. Okay, if we can break above there, happy days. I think we're going to go to 0.2117. So Lumen against Tether looks very constructive, good looking chart. But this is another one where at the moment XLM Lumen is getting its pants pulled down by Bitcoin. So you have to think, really, do you want to be in this or do you want to be in Bitcoin? So That's what I'm looking at. I think now I've got, if I put my fibs on all-time lows to highs, I've got Binance chart here. We're sitting on this 886 fib level. I'm looking for this seed to see if we can hold it on a retest. What we might then do is maybe an ABC correction. We could see a rally if you're holding some Lumen against Bitcoin. We could see a rally here back up to this 786 fib level around 2028. But I really wouldn't get bullish until we got above there. You know, we need to start kind of properly reversing the trend. So Lumen against Bitcoin, still not outperforming, but Lumen against the dollar is going up. And if we break out from that bottoming pattern we're making, that would be a very good, a good trigger, I think, for some more upside. Okay. So same story, pretty much everything that we look at tonight, isn't it? Not going up in value, but not as much as Bitcoin. Here's Neo Dollar, same thing. Here's the highs that we can't seem to get above. I've got Heiken-Ashi candles on here. Let's put some regular candles on. And you can see that there's this sticky level at 14, just above 14 in our sideways range. Flat moving averages. So we're going sideways in Neo US dollar. And really we need to get above this level, hold above, and find support from it if we're going to carry on much higher from here. I've been watching this. If you watch it on an hourly, for example, here we are. We've gotten above it again. We've been above it before, look. We've gotten above it again. Now we need to see some support and a big turn. It needs to hold a support, and then we've got our breakout. So, and then the confirmation, I would say, that we really have turned and we're going higher would be to take out these highs here. And then, you know, above 1480 confirmed. So at the moment, we're just sideways at the highs, and we're just, to be honest, it's just, we're just as likely to head lower from here, back underneath 1382, and I think we would go lower in Neo Dollar. So, you know, these candlesticks are pretty, these doji indecisions at the highs are not very helpful at the moment. Let's put it that way. So if we're stuck at highs in Neo Dollar, we're not going to be looking at that good, I don't think, here in Neo Bitcoin now. As a little tight wedge here, I'm going to say I don't like this. I really don't like them when they trade in all the way into the apex. I think that you can get, they're less predictive, okay? So, but clearly, you know, we are attempting some kind of breakdown. Whenever your moving averages get flat and bunched up like this, it's actually more helpful to see it as a sideways range. So we're in this sideways range, if you like. We've been in this sideways range since the end of May. We've been in it all month. If we make new lows, you know, the likelihood is we really have broken down. But when you have flat moving averages, you haven't got an uptrend or a downtrend. You're just going sideways. And that's what's going on in Neo Bitcoin. Now, that means that Neo US dollar shouldn't look too bad. And as we know, it doesn't, you know, because Bitcoin is really going up. But again, this kind of ABC, two equals, you know, not equal swings, but two waves, three waves. So 1, 2, 3, and then turning lower again is not bullish yet for Neo. So have to be more patient. And if you want to look at something pretty, you have to keep looking at the Tether chart. So here's Tether, Neo Tether, and that 14 level. If we can break out there, happy days. But with Neo Bitcoin breaking down, I think it looks like we're stuck here again. Okay, next one we're going to look at is Monero. Now, Monero, chop fast, really. So let's chop fast, you know, side very Monero Bitcoin sideways. Now that means that Monero dollar shouldn't look too bad, but again, we've got dead flat moving averages. We've been flat since the end of May. Here's our high of our range, here's the low of our range. Until we break out from this sideways range, you buy the bottom, you sell the top, and you wait for us to break out. And there's really nothing to do until then. So that's it, you know. Wait for this. We should expect it to hold and watch for a run back to the highs. But until then, nothing to do. Let's take a look at Monero US dollar. Ta-da! Look at this. See? Spectacular, isn't it? Maybe not Tether. Yeah, let's look at this with some more history. And then we can see that we really are, you know, making a pretty decent bottom, just like every altcoin. We've recovered the 200 moving average. We've recovered all of the daily moving averages. We're riding them higher. And here's our sideways range against the US dollar. We look like we're threatening a breakout, don't we? It's looking pretty good in this one. Not quite a breakout yet. But let's see. If Monero Bitcoin can get off the lows of that sideways range and start to rally, we could see a breakout and another leg higher in Monero dollar. But remember, ultimately, you know, we would be short term. So if we go back to Bitcoin, you want to buy it or you want to hold Monero when it's outperforming Bitcoin. So if we can bounce off the lows of our sideways range, that's when you want to buy some. And then if we get to the top and we fail again, that's when you want to go back to Bitcoin. So, you know, until we can break out, not much to do. Okay. Sorry, just reading the chat. There's lots going on in the chat. Okay. EOS. Let's see how EOS is doing, because I just want to point out, look, I've really reduced the number of windows I have open for people that get window anxiety. Here's another altcoin, EOS Bitcoin, where we are all bunched up in the middle. There really is no trend here at the moment. It's frustrating as heck. I do believe that EOS, on this daily chart, EOS Bitcoin, is setting up another leg higher. And the reason for that is just a harmonic pattern rule. See from this low to the high, how we're bouncing from an 886 fib. Normally, your target when you do that would be the 50%, which is back to the 50%, which would be back to here. So I'm expecting EOS Bitcoin to rally to around 126,700. So I think this is our first leg. Now we're B leg, and now I'm looking for another leg this way. I'm trying to reverse engineer. I keep trying to do this. Let's try it this way. So if we make two equal swings, this means that EOS comes all the way down here and retest this 886 fib level before we go up again. That would be pretty ugly. So let's see if we try it from here. If this is like a 61.8, not really. So sideways, in a sideways trading range in EOS and headed lower whilst we're underneath these moving averages in EOS Bitcoin. So no reason to be in EOS instead of Bitcoin at the moment. However, everybody's got a little bit. So if you've got some EOS, how are you doing? Well, let's see. Let's switch to Tether. Pretty well. Like it's, you know, it's the story of all of the altcoins. Most crypto is going up. Not much is outperforming Bitcoin at the moment, that's all. I do think if we look back at a year ago, when, not a year ago, but 2 years ago in 2017, when we started that big rally in September, the first wave that we did, none of the altcoins joined in. Like wave one, none of the altcoins rallied with Bitcoin. Then we had a correction in wave two, and then the next wave, they all did. And I'm really thinking that we could see this this time as well. So alt season will come. It's just we've got to be patient. So back and forward now in a sideways range. We've had quite a long run in higher here in EOS Tether. Each one of these corrections, when we look back at previous ones, have been 3 waves. So before we continued higher, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so I would expect the same here in EOS Tether. We've had it one swing lower. We're going to rally and see another swing before we start a new uptrend again. Okay. David Corden says, check out the market cap for Tether on TradingView. This whole rally has been them printing 6 million a day. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I will do that. Okay. All right, then. Let's move on. So, right here, I think EOS is starting to slow up. I think that these candles and if we look at it on a lower time frame, it's starting to look a little bit choppy and toppy. And I think that the risk is that soon we will see another swing lower before we're done in EOS Tether. And then we can look to buy for the bigger swing. So, sorry, better off in Bitcoin. All the volume. All the big volume is just Bitcoin Tether, isn't it? I know. It is. It is. It is. It is scary. Let's look at Zilliqa, because this is one that is actually sort of trying to outperform Bitcoin, and that's always interesting to me. Now, the problem here is, again, whenever you see a market do 2 equal swings like this, it's a sign that the price rally was corrective. So in Zilliqa against Bitcoin, I'm not so bullish. I could see a third drive. That would make me quite happy. But at the moment, this choppy, overlapping, corrective price action, not being able to get above this 236 fib from this swing here like this in Zilliqa makes me think that we have not bottomed yet. And I would like to see against the Bitcoin, a retest of the lows or some kind of bigger bottoming pattern. So I'm not sold on it, I'm afraid, in Zilliqa against Bitcoin. However, it has been, with these rallies, have been outperforming Bitcoin. So they should look pretty good against Tether, and it does. But we're right at that danger level. Let's see. Let's look at it just calculated by TradingView, because we get more history. On any chart, previous highs are where you'll see profit taking, and there's a bit of a pivot level through the middle here. From this closing price here, this here, these highs, there's a bit of a sticky level. Ignore the fibs, we'll take them away. So we've got a bit of a sticky level, and we really do at this point, it's starting to look a little bit toppy. We need to push ahead and make new highs. Once we do that, and I would say we hold above that, then fine. But again, this is choppy, overlapping A, B, C, and now 1, 2, 3 the other way. Do you see what I mean? So against this looks like A, B, C. And now we're going to go A, B, C down, and then we'll go up again. So I'm a little bit cautious at this price point. Let's say, look, I'm going to take that high. If we can close above that and hold above this level, which is sort of, 0.026, let's call it 0.026 round number, then happy days, we'll be on our way higher. But at the moment, I think that we're at the top of a range and potentially in a little bit of trouble. So, Zilliqa US dollar. Now, I'd be watching this. Again, here's this level that we need to get above. Here's the price action we're watching. We really want to see a solid breakout of this to the upside, and then happy days. That would be a breakout and a new swing higher. And when you've got a long sideways consolidation like this, you can project your targets You usually go twice the sideways range. And if we look at how far we've fallen and how far we've got to get to the big 236 fib in Zilliqa dollar, just to get back to there, gosh, yeah, let's not do it from there. I don't think that's going to be... Let's take our fibs from this last swing like this and see where we're at. I want to see how it behaved. That looks more like it. So we go twice this range. So I think we get up here to the 61.8, 0.035, and these lows, that would make sense. So good luck. Okay. All right then. That's Zilliqa. I think it's at resistance. Be careful. Gross coin is next. Gross coin Bitcoin. See these lows and this 786 fib level? Let's make this darker. So from this low to this high, we pulled back to the 786 fib, and it's been really messy. You don't normally see that at a 786 fib. It's a really good support and resistance level as well from this low, and we've been like washing back and forward through it in a sideways range. No trend at all, flat daily moving averages. If we break this and we make new lows, which I'm starting to think we did, because it's starting to look like A, B, C up here, I think we're headed lower, and this 886 fib is next support. So this one, I'm afraid, grosser coin against Bitcoin, we're headed lower. Does that mean that grosser coin against the dollar will be a disaster or you'll lose a ton of money? No, it just means that we're going to be outperformed here by Bitcoin. Let me tidy up here and show you what I mean. So look, this swing and this swing, okay, we're equal, equal, almost. Whenever you see that and then it rolls over like it has here, that's just corrective. We're still in a downtrend, unfortunately, and this is now looking like a bit of a pennant, and we've broken to the downside. Now we might hold these lows, but I think more likely we continue to 3557 in grosser coin. Now, does that mean that against the dollar, if we have a look at it, you're going to lose a lot? No, you're actually not, but I would think that in fact this looks pretty good the way we're holding the 200-day moving average, but you're better off in Bitcoin than grosser coin at the moment. Not ready, that one. Okay, ZEC. This one's been exciting, hasn't it? Zcash. Zcash against Bitcoin. Here's one that is going up against Bitcoin. We've been in a bit of a sideways range. We've got knocked back twice at this 236 fib. And when I initially saw this rally, I thought, uh-oh, here we go. Here's another correction. Here we go. Here's our first swing of correction. Here's our second swing of correction. They were equal, but then we put in an extra wave, and we're still bullish. We've got a bullish cross of our daily moving averages. So I'm going to say at this point, if you wanted to buy ZEC over Bitcoin, I would like to see it above 11,330. And above 11,330, we've got a no-brainer trade then to the 200 moving average up here, and the next fib level, which is at 13,407. So from 11,330 to 13,407, and then look at the support and resistance at this 50% level at 15,000. That's the next leg. So looking good, but this in ZEC is really tough resistance, 11,330. So how are we going to get that? We look like we're rallying back, but at this point, if you haven't bought any, I would let it get above this level and then buy against it. 11,330 for ZEC Bitcoin. Now, if we're outperforming Bitcoin, you can imagine that this Tether chart's going to look amazing. Ta-da, it does. We're at new highs. Now, as you know, I like to project fib targets from the corrective swings. Okay, and the 1.618 of this swing and this swing lined up here. This was our resistance at 1992. Our next target is between 108 and 1011, and because ZEC always seems to overshoot, let's go for the higher one. So we'll move our target up now to that 111 level. So that's where we're looking for, and we shouldn't go back below 90. Okay, so buy pullbacks, buy hourly pullbacks in ZEC US dollar. It's stalled a little bit right now, just like Bitcoin, but that's what I'd be looking for in ZEC. I don't know why that chart has decided to die. They've all decided. Maybe my internet's down. There you go. ZEC is dead. Sorry. I'm going to have to end that one early. Let's look at Doge. Okay, and then we're going to look at Link. Now, Doge. Doge Bitcoin is potentially retesting important support. You can see, let's zoom out. Ever since the start of, not this year, but last year, 2018, this level around 35 has been pretty good support in a wedge pattern. However, it looks like we're breaking it. What I'm hoping for in Doge, let's tidy up this chart. We'll keep it really simple. What I'm hoping for is, this is a lovely big 5-wave rally. We're going to make a big 3-wave correction, 2 equal swings, and then we'll resume it. So if we measure like this, from this high down to this low down here, and project it from here, you can see that we've got a teensy bit further to go before we reach that equal measured move level. And by which time everybody will have given up on Doge and gone, oh my God, and then there it is at 32. So don't let it shake you out on these new lows, because the equal measured move level is just here at 32. And if you haven't got any Doge and you are looking at it, that would be the level I'd be getting ready to buy some. So Dogecoin, Bitcoin, 32 support. A little bit further to go before we get there. Doge US dollar, like, would it, let's see how we're doing. Look at this lovely, this is a lovely constructive chart. This looks so bullish to me. This 236 fib level, you know, we went straight through it to the 38.2, back and forward, but now it's support. You know, I'm looking for another swing higher in Doge US dollar. I think that this chart looks great. This next swing should take us to at least 439,000, so 0.00439. Gosh, if we went to 1.618, we'd be all the way up there. Anyway, looking very good. Yeah, they are singing in the background. It stopped raining. So a really good look for a swing higher in Doge. But I think against Bitcoin, we have a little bit further to fall. So Link, here's an exciting one. So let's see where we are with Link. This is one that truly is outperforming. And there are very few. But this is one of the coins that really are outperforming Bitcoin. So let's start at how we drew our target levels. I'm going to hide the moving averages to keep my chart clean. So see, from these two big corrective swings, I put the fibs on high to low, and we're looking for projections. Here, this was a butterfly pattern. When you have the 1272 of this swing and the 1.618 lining up together here, that was our first resistance. Then the 1.618 of this swing, these grey fibs are really the ones that are really working. See how that 1.618 was the high and a really steep pullback. Then we got to the 2, twice this distance, sharp pullback, but we're holding support and we're climbing. Everything now is lining up in Chainlink Bitcoin here at 29,720. So we need to make a new high to do it. So the trade, really, we're turning up again, I think. But remember, corrections are three waves very often. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And here, I can't count 3 yet. So it may be that we don't make a new high. I can count 3 if I go down to the 4 hour, but I can't count it on the daily. And so it may be that we need to see a bigger correction here before we go up again. So if we don't make a new high, that's what you can expect in Link. But so where is the trade? Where is our sure thing trade? Well, let's move this level up. This one that I've drawn. I can't. Okay, our trade is between 22,900 and 29,800. Okay. So let it go A, B, C and buy the retest, or go between 22,900 and Ilya, no XTZ, am I invisible today? Okay, we're doing the list in order at the top because that's what everybody requested. You know, I write down the requests that everybody asks before we go live. I get the charts ready and we go through them in that order. So you're not invisible today. And if I have time, I'll do Tezos at the end. But, you know, if you want to see it, you should just ask for it on Twitter, on Facebook, anywhere. Okay? No, you're not invisible. So that's Link. That's what we're looking for. Potentially, we could see another swing of correction before we continue higher. If we make a new high, if we get above 23,000 Link Bitcoin, we are going to keep going higher to 29,900 next. Okay. Big target. Hope that makes sense. Okay. No worries. No worries. No, I just, you know, I don't want anyone to think that there's invisible. It's quite hard to look at the chart and all the comments as well, but don't worry. No, I will try. Okay. Okay, so that's Link. Let's look at ONT. Ontology. I've got Ontology against Tether. So like every other Tether chart, we look pretty bullish. We're riding daily moving averages. We're going sideways in a sideways range. Flat moving averages, that always means, flat moving averages means no trend basically. We're consolidating sideways, looking for a breakout. Here's our sideways range at the moment, the highs. And I think these lows, if we break these lows in the middle here, which are 50% back, then we'll go all the way back to the 200 moving average again. So potentially we finished a correction and we could be in a new swing. But I have a thing, don't diddle in the middle. Like if you can see the range, you know you're safe. You can, if you buy the bottom of the range and you sell the top of the range, you know you're safe because you can see where the range is. But here in the middle at the 50%, do you know, we could go either way. It's a coin flip and I never like those odds. So right now here in the middle in Ontology against the US dollar, I really don't know which way we're going to go next. I favor higher, but I'm not sure. So let's take a look at Ontology against Bitcoin and see when that's going to bottom, because that maybe will help us. Now, it's all sideways. The nice thing about this is I think that an equal thing puts us back at the lows. So I'd be looking for a double bottom or something like that. One of the tools that I use, because sometimes, it doesn't come all the way back to the bottom. You could be waiting for it down here and it doesn't come all the way back. So what I'll do is I'll put on that big swing here, I'll put my fib on and I'll put the 236 fib on like this. We'll mark it in red so we can see it. And if we close above that, I will say that that's a bullish reversal. And you'd be amazed how many times that 236 fib is resistance. In fact, if we look at today, that's exactly where we stopped dead in Ontology. So had Ontology gone, Bitcoin gone beyond that level, I'd be like, yeah, buy the next pullback. But at the moment, no, still in a downtrend. And ABC, and again, let's put high Kanashi candles on so we can see we've made one of those ABC equal corrections, I think. So still in a downtrend. Like this, they're loosely equal, they're not, but so not quite there yet for Ontology Bitcoin. Okay. Okay. Well, you know me. I stay right out of politics. I know I don't, but I'm just not going to talk about politics right now because we've got some charts to get through. Okay, so that's Ontology. Against Bitcoin, I think we're still in a downtrend. And against the dollar, we're going sideways. So you're not going to lose money holding any, but you might be better off in Bitcoin for a little bit. Still not ready, is it? Leo. New coin. Let's put a daily chart on because we haven't got that much data for this one, but we'll take a look. And it's been a bit spiky. Now, from this swing, I don't like when it has a big thing like this. I'm not going to trust it enough to put the fibs on for now. In fact, I don't think they line up with anything at all. I sometimes put them on and see, do they line up? You know, and if they do, then I sometimes have a bit more confidence. But let's see. If that was a 50%, it might be. Okay, now that's quite interesting because if we do it like this, didn't quite get to the 50%. And markets that are doing 50%, what tends to happen in new ones is 50% pullbacks. You'll see that quite a lot. Okay, for example, this first rally off the low, here like this, pull back 50% and then carried on, new high. And so we've got this swing here because we've had this big pullback here and we're sitting on 50%, and we've also got a nice newly minted daily 20 moving average here as well. So potentially we're sitting on a level where we could see another swing higher here for Leo Bitcoin. The momentum's turning up and coming our way. Maybe, let's see. Now I'm going to apply my rule, okay? That I'll know for sure it's going up if we get above 21,189. But what to watch out for, because markets that bounce from a 50% level very often stall at the 50% level. You'll see it like mean reversion. So watch out, make sure that you go beyond 50% of this drop, which is here at 22,418. And above there, you're for sure going up again. So at a level where maybe we turn higher, but at the moment, we've just spent a couple of days just sitting here doing nothing in Leo Bitcoin. That's cool if Bitcoin's going up. It's not so much fun if Bitcoin's going down. Beam, is it? Okay, if I do this in the middle and I interrupt, it better be, let's make sure it is going up. Okay, it's not on trading view, is it? So I'll do it at the end. So I'll see if I have time. Okay. Fetch. We're going to look at fetch. This is fetch Bitcoin. It's not doing very well. Our first rally failed at the 236 fib. We couldn't make a new high. We're really sideways, and still in a downtrend, really. Flat moving averages, so sideways range, and no edge against Bitcoin at the moment. You're still better off in Bitcoin until this makes a bit of a bottom. You know, you're trying to, it's better to be in fetch on the upswings, But this hasn't reversed the trend. That's the problem. To reverse the trend, we need to, if you think a simple thing, a downtrend is lower lows and lower highs. And if people bought this speculatively, because this is a downtrend, the place where they take profit, if you don't know any technical analysis, is these previous highs. And that's what we've seen. We've failed here. Now, we might do an ABC pullback and have another go, but let's see. Let's see what's going on here, because on the daily, this is a level where potentially we've got some support, but yeah, so if this pullback makes just an ABC correction where the second swing is 61.8 of the first swing, we've got a little bit further to go to 1726. So I think we've got further to drop and maybe retest the lows. And I don't like how we're underneath these moving average. So FET is underperforming Bitcoin. You're better off in Bitcoin. You're probably not losing a ton of money in Tether. Look, no, you're not. But it does look to me like we're starting to turn lower again for another swing. Look. This is a trendy move. Look, we move up. Each pullback doesn't come into the previous swing. And then we have a sharp pullback and we're looking to see, is this upswing going to continue or is this a correction? And because this is choppy, overlapping, each swing comes back on each other. This says to me that this is correction. We're going to need another leg lower before we start that strong uptrend again. So it doesn't make me want to buy it, unfortunately. And here, a little short term, this looks like a little, ABC correction here as well. So I wouldn't hang on in fetch. Not a good time for fetch. It's not a very good night for coins, is it? Now, BNB. Big moves in BNB since the announcement, obviously, of the US exchange. So here's this thing. Remember how we project targets using fib projections from pullbacks? This is what I've been doing in this one. So we had these highs here, 1.618 of this and 4.2 and so on. And this one here, we've got a very messy top going on. It's a bit like a diamond. Diamonds can be consolidation patterns or they can be reversal patterns. I'm not sure how this is going to play out yet, whether this is a big top or whether this is just a pullback before we carry on higher. If we do carry on higher, my next target on the upside, because this is the purple, let's take them away. It's these purple projections that are working. Then our next upside target for Binance Coin against Bitcoin is 66,830. But to get there, we have to break out from this pattern and get back above 42,700. Now, if this is not a diamond, say this is just a flag pattern, let's take that away. So this is our A leg, B, and we're going to do another swing lower. Where might we end up? Here, 30,500. 30,500. No, not quite. I got it wrong. 32,180. That's the first place I would look for some support. So if we drift gently down here and this 200 moving average keeps rallying like this, so that keeps coming here like this, and we, do our pullback here like that, that would be a good place to look at buying Binance Coin Bitcoin. A retest of the 200 moving average, maybe around 32,000. That would be a really nice rally. Now, if you weren't going to watch it every day, or didn't want it to take off without you, I would connect these highs like this. I would put my alarm up here like this, and I would put an alarm on there because you don't want it to take off and you miss it. Okay, so that's how I see Binance Coin Bitcoin. Binance Coin Tether, of course, doesn't look so bad, but it does look a bit toppy. It's much more bullish chart anyway. Toppy, this is what I mean by sideways. You can see I've got my fib projections going on here as well in Binance Coin against Tether. If we can break out of this sideways consolidation, and I'm not convinced that we are yet, then I'm looking for 38.6 and then 46.2 on the upside. So that's BNB US dollar. So short term, where are we? Have we got any trade here tonight? I have to say no. And this is the reason why, you know, this is just looking all a bit, yeah, not convinced yet. Okay. CELR. Oops, that's not CELR. Here we go. Now, I'm kind of a bit concerned here, like a lot of coins against Bitcoin. I think that we could be breaking down and seeing another swing lower. If I draw my fib from here to here, the 618 should find support here at the 382 and bounce back to the middle. We may have already done it. So I think we're sideways between these two daily moving averages, the 50 down here, let's take that away, the 50 down here and the 20 above us. So we need to break out of this tight little range that we've been in for 4 days. And if we're going to go higher and hold this third touch of this trend line, we need to do it sort of from here. So here we are at support. So we're right at the level where if I was holding CLR still, I wouldn't want it to go any lower. I wouldn't want it to go below 190. And if it did against Bitcoin, I would be out, because I think that this might be a big, you know, another big correction and a retest of the lows coming up. Now, if we can close above the 20 moving average, because we've got a bullish cross of these moving averages and everything turns around again, happy days. I think we will have held support and we'll be on our way. And I'm looking up here for a target around 384 if we can do that. But David says, looks like a rising wedge. I know. It does look like we could see another swing from it though, doesn't it? But then, you know, I look at these closing prices here and, you know, really, so it's just, in a downtrend, this pattern isn't usually bullish, usually. So this is why if we break down, or we get underneath that daily 50, I wouldn't hold on. I'd rather be in Bitcoin. Just stop out and go to Bitcoin. Now, against the Tether seller network, you know, this doesn't look that bad at all, does it? But, you know, this does look like it's doing, it's ABC up, A, B, C, and we still need a C leg down before we rally again. So, you know, see how in this all the way up, look, from the lows in seller, do you see how once we got above this daily 20 moving average, every time we pull back to it, it was support, and we never closed underneath it. So it was support here, and it was support here, and it was support when we retested it here and here. So if we close below, or if we close below 1749, that would be your sell signal. Don't miss it. That would mean another swing lower coming for CELR. Ever since this low, we've held above that 20 moving average. If we lose it, you should get out. That's against Tether. Okay. MATIC is next. 35. Here we go, MATIC. This is MATIC against Bitcoin. MATIC really was outperforming Bitcoin. Now, we pulled back. Nice ABC correction, I thought. We're all ready to get going again. Sitting on the 61.8 pullback. And we really haven't done anything. We've just gone sideways. It's very frustrating. This is the lows. This is where we should be expecting it to rally from and get going. Haven't managed it yet. So let's look under the hood here at the hourly, a little bit lower. see what's going on, see if we can maybe get an inverted head and shoulders pattern, something like that. If we could draw something like that here and we rally from here, that would be a nice long entry in MATIC. So watch that we don't make a new low and turn up from here. That would be good. Another way to confirm that we are on our way higher again, I think, would be above the 236 fib from this swing. And what price does that come in at? Make it dark. There we go. Oh, look, those highs where we keep stopping. So a close above 254, that would be bullish. So yeah, hopefully, you know, this is the bottom of the range. This is where we should be looking to buy it. Above 254, that would be a nice entry for MATIC. We're going to look for the top of the range again and then see if we can start a new upswing. It does look ready in MATIC Bitcoin. Obviously, if we lose these lows, we're going to go down to the 786 next. We're probably looking at a Gartley pattern down here at 161. So that's quite a long way. You don't want to hold it if we break them down, do you? 161. We're at 238 at the moment. So that's MATIC Bitcoin. Looking to make a base here on the hourly and turn up higher. Okay? Okay, next one we're going to look at is Atoms, Cosmos. I love this chart. This is one of my favorite three tonight, Cosmos. I like this because this is a trend. This is a Cosmos against Bitcoin. See how when we rally and we pull back here, we don't go back into this previous wave. This is trendy, you know. And what I like about this correction and this correction is they're kind of equal. I'm looking for this to turn up and a new swing higher. A breakout of this trend line, which we can draw a bit more easily on a lower time frame, would be a good indication. There, I have drawn it right. So yeah, new swing higher if we can do that here. Now, look at from this high to this low in Cosmos Bitcoin, how every fib level has been respected. 236 fib was here, came back, 38.2, 50% here. 618 got a bit messy, didn't it? So we can expect resistance then at 88.70 because that's the 786. Okay, and then we can expect resistance at the 886, which is at 9398. So our first target then is going to be 8870 and then 9398 in Cosmos. Okay. Looking good though. Love how these moving averages, and if we take away, let's not look at the trend line. Let's just look at these support and resistance levels and how we've just broken above this one. It's looking really good for us to continue at least to this next one here, 79.84 in Cosmos, isn't it? And then 88.70. So definitely Atom, Cosmos is one of my top three. Link is the other one, and Bitcoin is the other one. Those are my top three coins tonight. Bitcoin is really outperforming almost everything. Not this one, but almost everything. Okay, BTT BitTorrent. BitTorrent is another one, waiting for it to turn back again. So had a really nice rally, had a really nice pullback. Here we are sitting at the 61.8. I've put my regular candles on. 61.8 level, daily 50 moving average, and watching for us to turn higher again. We need to get above 17 to say that we're going sideways just here for the last 5 days. Above 17 would be a good indicator. I really don't like this chart because it's such fat ticks, small numbers, but that would be, so I prefer to look at it against the US dollar, to be honest. But above 17, we should see a new swing higher. My target is 28. That's based on this rally here, this sharp rally. If this was our first swing, then this next swing, at a minimum, should go to 61.8. So 28 is our target. Above 17, target's 28 in BitTorrent. Okay, I'm a little bit fried tonight. I'm going to do a couple of requests. I haven't got that many charts ready though, so you have to be a bit patient, and it does mean that I have to load a few more pages. So we'll go and find some Wabi. And then BAT, and then Tezos. So Wabi against Bitcoin. Oh, I was really hoping that we would make a bit of a base here and get above this 200 moving average, and we've just failed. This is a daily chart of Wabi here. Failed 3 times at the 200 moving average. So against Bitcoin, Wabi unfortunately is still not performing. Let's look and see where fib support and the next fib support comes in, because you see how this was us trying to hold the 786 fib. Then these previous lows and the 886 fib are where Wabi against Bitcoin is headed, and that is at 2886. So no support for me until 2886. I think that we've got further to fall. So sorry about that. Wabi Bitcoin not holding the. Now Wabi against Tether, or Wabi against US dollar calculated by TradingView, you can see because Bitcoin's going up, you're actually not, you haven't lost anything. It's dead settled. Like you haven't lost any money holding on to Wabi because Bitcoin has been rallying so much. When Bitcoin stops going up though, that's when you may start to have a problem. So if this level goes, the support, keep an eye on this against the US dollar. If it drops below 0.265, I would probably get out of Wabi as well, because we could very easily here in this one make a big inverted head and shoulders pattern. What if this was the left shoulder and this is the head, and if we make a right shoulder that comes all, this came quite low, we'd have further to fall. So I wouldn't want to hold on for that. Plus, there's a lot of time when your money could be at work somewhere else in Wabi. So I'm not feeling it, although you're not losing money if you're holding on. And BAT, let's take a look at BAT, basic attention token, which was doing so well. And this is basic attention token against Bitcoin. And look at this. Let's hide this. We'll hide these. From this low to this low, projected from here, we stopped at exactly the ABC. So unfortunately for me, that's a corrective pattern. And normally when I see that, I expect it to come back to the 786. So if I put my fibs on from this low to high here like this, see how we're sitting on the 61.8. I think we still have one more level to go down, if you like, back to these lows here at 2048 before we'll see a new upswing. So yes, we are bouncing at the moment from this 618 level. It's not quite enough to convince me yet, Sorry. Let's put some moving averages on, because if we can recover some of them, or if we could rally more than the 236 fib, because we are bouncing, there's no doubt about it. We are. It's just where are we going to bounce to now? Let's take that away. So clearly this 200 moving average is it. If we are not in a downtrend, we would probably, if we go beyond more than 50% of this last swing lower, and that's right where this high is today, then I think there's a good chance that we're not in a downtrend anymore. So today's high was almost there, 3978. Above there, I think that there's a good chance that we rally all the way back and have another go at this 200 moving average. But until then, look at that. There's the hourly 200 moving average there. So I would make that my bull bear line, 3977. If we get above there, 3977, I would be looking at basic attention token to carry on higher. But at the moment, yeah, I'm not feeling it, sorry. That's basic attention per token Bitcoin. Now, basic attention token Bitcoin is one thing. US dollar, it looks, you know, fine, doesn't it? It looks like a lovely, fat, bullish flag. Nothing to worry about. So you're not losing money. In fact, this is a bullish flag. And if this breaks to the upside, it should have another really nice rally in a really nice bottoming pattern. It just all this means is that it's not outperforming Bitcoin. That's all. Now, the target in this one, the big target, it's always been that big 50% retrace. And see how that was the 38.2. So look, in this rally off from the lows, the 236 gave us this pullback. The 38.2 gave us a big pullback. But this next time, that would be where our target is. So if we can break out from this flag, like it does look like it's turning, then that's going to be where we go. That'd be very nice, wouldn't it? And a close today, you know, above that 200 moving average would really help us too. Gosh. Maybe Bitcoin's going to rip. But yeah, that against this, it does look great. So 0.5948, that's what I'd be looking for. Okay, basic attention token looks good for higher against the US dollar. And Tron, TRX, 1 second. I'll just get that one up. Now, you know how we always look at the 236 fib and how it's resistance, resistance, resistance. In Tron dollar, we are going up in dollar, no doubt about it. And when you get above this, then you look to come back, find support and turn high again. So that's what Tron is doing. So Tron against the US dollar is going up in value and it's in an upswing. And we should be looking for 0.045 next. And that's this 382 fib level. We've got a really nice looking bottoming pattern, a really nice shape to everything, and like no reason not to like this. So just like everything else in US dollar terms, this one's going up. But the problem is, you know, again, it's not a problem. I mean, if you love Tron, be in Tron. But in terms of against Bitcoin, where it's normally traded, Tron does look like it's still in a pullback. So, and has further to fall. So for me, this was a big 886 fib level. They're normally really strong medicine. I would be looking for Tron to hold this level on a retest, and it's 328. So I'd be watching for 328 on a retest to hold as support, and then have another go, you know, have another go. Okay. When I look at these hourly, you know, we've flattened out a bit, but there's no reason yet. So, yeah. Tron looks all set to go higher in US dollar terms, but will be underperforming Bitcoin for a little bit more. Now, I see people talking about Ripple again. So let's take a look at Ripple again. Now, remember, Ripple, this big 618 level that we're holding. Let's take that away. Let's take that fib away. Here's these previous lows. It's like a swing failure pattern, isn't it? This previous low, double bottom. It is looking quite good to go higher. Ripple against Bitcoin. It's outperforming. They've got all these rumors about Facebook. We're above the 236 today. So yeah, from here we should rally to 5,026. But when you have ABC patterns, you really need to put your fibs on both swings, and the 236 fib from both swings is what counts. And so when we do that, it's the level that counts is 48.11 Ripple Bitcoin. And if we go down to, let's go down to an hourly chart, okay? So our level that counts is 48.11. You can see twice here today, intraday, this is where we tested, and we couldn't get above it. So we had a bit of a double top here, didn't we? 48.11. Now we're above it and we're flying. So that's it. Now that we're above it, as long as we have an hourly closer, this is not a false breakout, this 48.11 level should be support. So you shouldn't go back below it from here. So yeah, Ripple on the move. I would buy some. And I don't even like Ripple particularly. So good luck, good job. Yeah, Ripple's breaking higher. That 236 fib confirms it. Okay, what haven't I looked at? Beam, Mana and Beam. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Brian. Mana. Let's see some Mana. This is my daily chart of Mana, Bitcoin. I got a bit concerned here. I was looking for a breakout and a rally from this 786 fib. In fact, in Mana, I thought that this was a perfect, going to be a perfect sort of Gartley pattern, if you like. So I'm really hoping that on a retest of the lows, this kind of holds up as a bit of a sideways range. But if it doesn't, or if we rally and then 690 becomes resistance. So see how we're underneath this level now? On this hourly chart, let's put some Heiken on. If we rally back now and we fail at this level or get rejected, that would say, yeah, bad news and we're headed lower. If we get back above this level and it's at 690 and we can hold it, that would be a good buy signal for me. It's quite a powerful level. So Mana against Bitcoin, whilst we're underneath there, I'm a little bit bearish and looking lower from here. Now that wasn't a perfect measured move. Mana's so spiky. Let's see. That's the moving average, isn't it? Okay. If we go a little bit lower in an ABC correction, where does that take us to? 355. And I wonder if 355 is where the 886 fib is as well. Yeah. I think we've got further to fall in this one. Somewhere between 355 and 422. And I'm going to say probably the higher one, 422. So unless we recover 690, we're going to fall to 420 next in Mana. Let's see. Now, does that mean that Mana... no, you're not losing money at all, are you? Here in against the US dollar. In fact, you're just, kind of doing nothing very much, really. Okay? So you're not losing money in US dollar Tether, but I think relative to Bitcoin, we have a little bit further to fall in Mana. And then I'm going to look at Beam. I'm not sure if I've got a... 1 second. I just have to get the... Okay. Okay, we'll look for Beam. Oh yeah, there goes Beam Bitcoin. Ah, really quite good rally getting on. Okay, so we're going to take our fibs from, we're going to look and see, did we go more than 50? We're coming up on that 50%. So potentially that could be some resistance. I don't think so though, and I think we should probably really look for this 236 fib as our first target. But just in case we're still in a downtrend, then 50% of this swing might stop us. But yeah, this looks great. I would keep this as my target. 2,474,900. But I would temper my enthusiasm if we stall here around 1,425,800, which is just half of this last swing lower. But yeah, Beam looks great. What's not to like? Got further to go. We might stall ahead of that level. Maybe sometimes the fibs around these previous highs are where people are going to take profit. But yeah, good luck in Beam. Okay, people have noticed it now. Tezos, XTZ. Okay. So I've got Tezos Tether here, US dollar, and I was really hoping this one would, see this, I took this last swing lower, and this 236 fib level got a bit sticky. So although this is quite a nice looking chart against the US dollar, it's, you know, we're starting to bottom, and it would be quite cool if we did this here, because we could potentially make a nice inverted head and shoulders pattern that would match this one. And so in terms of the US dollar, you know, once we break out of this wedge, we should be on our way back to this, retest this 166, kind of 166, 1.8 area again. The neckline of this head and shoulders pattern is at here at 1.8. So if we break above it, we go twice as distance, we go to at least 1.15. So I'm looking for that to happen. So if we can turn up higher from here in Tezos and we do something like that, that's a really good looking bottoming pattern. Now, immediately today, that resistance that we need to get above is this daily 50 moving average. And this daily 50 moving average is pretty cool support when you're above it, but twice we've got knocked back underneath it. So see what I mean here? There it is, that blue line. So we're going to be bullish above 1.357 in Tezos Tether, and otherwise we may have a little bit further to fall. So above 1.357, back to the neckline and see if we can go higher. That would be a good buy entry. Now against Bitcoin, yeah. Okay, so I mean this Tezos does like fibs. I've drawn my fib from this low to this high. I should probably have done it from, the problem is when I moved it down here, they didn't really work quite as well. When I draw them from here, you can see each one works really well. So here we are sitting on the 786. So potentially we could rally from here. Just haven't seen enough evidence of it yet. Potentially. Let's do our measured move, because that's a very good help. And that's just a little bit lower. 13,278. That's interesting, because then if I, yeah, let's take the fibs away. I think we have a little bit further to fall in Tezos to 13,278, and then I'd be looking for a bottom there. If I look at this on lower time frames, you know, we're still in a downtrend, aren't we? 13,220, 13,278 then. A little bit further to fall in Tezos against Bitcoin. Okay. All right then, everyone. Good luck in Ripple. Now, we need to close it. Okay, what's the worst thing we don't want to do? Let's take this away. The one thing we really don't want to do here in Ripple is make an ABC equal measured move correction. And that's the moment where we've stopped. So, okay, that's not good. So let's take that away. There, 236, we don't come. So now we're going to say, here's our parameters for Ripple. Okay. So if we go back underneath this level here at 48.15 hourly close, we've reversed at an ABC correction. Well, let's make it a bit, let's give it a bit of wiggle room because it's Ripple. We'll call it 4,800. So if we close back underneath 4,800 on this candle, which has 3 minutes and 40 seconds till it closes, then we're going to be a little bit bearish if we come back under there. Now, if we can get above this ABC measured move high, we're going to keep going higher there. So then it will just be not a shakeout. So that's Ripple. Good luck. That's what we're looking for. Okay, we're looking for us to push above 49.15, and then we're really bullish. And if we drop back underneath 4,800, we're going to say, okay, nice try, but no banana this time. Okay? Yeah, it does look good, but you never know. At this time of night, we always see some really good stuff, and then it just dies, doesn't it? Okay, good luck.